Hello everyone, welcome to New IAS Daily Current Affairs program. Today is January 20, 2019 and the current affairs topics we will be covering today are National Testing Agency, Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, Bandipur Tiger Reserve, Electro-Reception. For the map session we will be dealing with LOTEL and last we have PQRS. So coming to the very first topic, that is about National Testing Agency. So you might have heard that National Testing Agency have declared the JEE mains results, right? So what is this National Testing Agency? It is an autonomous body and it has been established as a premier, specialist and a self-sustained testing organization which will conduct the entrance examinations for admissions to higher educational institutions, right? So they will conduct entrance examinations to higher educational institutions. So the major objective of this body is to assess the competence of candidates for admissions, and its major vision is to improve the equity and quality in education, and also they will identify the gaps in educational systems. All these are their major functions, right? And this National Testing Agency, they are interested to address all the issues using the best in every field, from test preparation to test delivery and to test marking, right? So they will conduct all the tests in a very organized manner, and this body, it was approved by the Union Council of Ministers and it was established in November 2019. And this National Testing Agency, they will be conducting many entrance examinations like the JEE mains, that is joint entrance examinations, which is held twice in a year, and NEET, that is National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test, NET, National Eligibility Test, then CMAT, GPAT, right? So all these entrance tests will be conducted by this body. And talking about the organizational structure of National Testing Agency, it is chaired by an eminent person, by an eminent educationalist who will be appointed by the MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource and Development, right? So the MHRD will appoint a eminent educationalist and there will be a board of governors and all, and the CEO will be Director General who will be appointed by the government. This is the organizational structure of National Testing Agency. Moving on to the next topic, that is Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. So you might have heard about China's mission to moon, that is Chang'e 4, and it is a mission to the far side of the moon, right? So you know about it, and the scientists, they have used the photographs which was captured by NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, that is LRO. And why did they use these photographs? Because it was to pinpoint the landing location of Chang'e 4. So for the proper landing of Chang'e 4, these photographs which was captured by LRO was utilized, and this Chang'e 4 lander rover duo, it is named U-22 and it was safely set down in the plains of Von Karman crater, right? It's not really important, just for your knowledge. And talking about Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, it is a robotic spacecraft and it is now orbiting the moon at an altitude of 50 to 200 kilometer. This LRO's primary objective is to make fundamental scientific discoveries about moon, right? Its major objective is to make discoveries about the moon, and this exploration mission was focused on supporting the extension of human presence in the solar system. So its aim was to extend the human presence in the solar system, and it was launched with the Lunar Crater Observation and Sensing Satellite LCROSS. So what is this LROC? LROC stands for Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter Camera. So what is it? It is a system of 3 cameras which are mounted on the LRO, right? So what this LROC does, it will capture the high resolution black and white images and moderate resolution multispectral images of the lunar surface, and this LROC was utilized, and this pictures was utilized by the Chang'e 4 satellite, right? Now coming to the next topic, that is about Bandipur Tiger Reserve. So the Ministry of Environment, Forests and Climate Change, they have opposed to a proposal which was to construct an elevated road over the Bandipur Tiger Reserve. So this project was actually proposed by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and which was a part of committee which was constituted by Supreme Court. After this, there was some disputes between Karnataka and Kerala over Bandipur. So that committee, they suggested this project of road construction, and now the MOFCC, they have opposed to this, and that's the news. And talking about Bandipur Tiger Reserve, it is in the state of Karnataka, and Bandipur Tiger Reserve, it constitutes an important component of the forest landscape of the country, and it comprises of many, it is surrounded by many national parks and wildlife sanctuaries like Nagarhole National Park, which is in Karnataka, Mudumalai and Satyamangalam Tiger Reserve, which is in Tamil Nadu, Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, which is in Kerala. So this particular tiger reserve, it is surrounded by many tiger reserves and national parks. So it is surrounded by Mudumalai National Park, which is to the south, and Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary is located to its southwest. That's the location. So it is one of the largest protected area in southern India, and also the largest habitat of wild elephants in South Asia itself, right? Talking about Bandipur National Park, so this national park is flanked by the Kabani River in the northern side, and Moya River, which is to the south, and the Nugu River flows through this park. So whenever you study about a national park or wildlife sanctuary, whatever, so please make sure that you see that if any river flows through it, or any important species, endangered or critically endangered species, habitats there, all these details must be noted, right? And also this Bandipur National Park helps to protect several species of India's endangered wildlife, and some of the species which can be seen over this Bandipur National Park are sambar, chital, mouse deer, four-horned antelope, wild dogs, wild boar. These are the species which you can see in Bandipur National Park, right? So we'll move on to the next topic, which is from the science and technology part, that is about electroreception or electroception. So what is this electroreception or electroception? It is the biological ability to perceive electrical impulses which are used for electrolocation and electrocommunication. So I will explain you all these terms. Before that, this electroreception, it is the ability to detect electrical currents, right? It is the ability to detect electrical currents, and it is particularly common among the aquatic creatures, as salt water is an excellent conductor, right? So this can be found in some mammals like echidnas and platypus, and some insects like cockroaches and bees. So the most common electroreception in vertebrates is called ampullary electroreception. It is called ampullary electroreception, and it is more common in the cartilaginous fishes, right? So how does shark utilizes this electroreception? So shark uses electroreception most oftenly to capture the prey. So how does they utilize this? Like by detecting the electrical fields generated by the prey, they will detect those electrical currents and they will capture the prey, right? Are you clear with this? And these electroreceptors are a kind of jelly-filled tubes that are open to the surface of the shark skin, and each tube ends in a bulb kind of shaped thing that is known as ampulla. And if you remove the skin from the head of the shark, you can see hundreds of bulbs kind thing, that is ampulla. I talked about ampullary electroreception, right? So this ampulla can be seen, and the jelly in the tube is highly conductive, which allows for the electrical potential and this voltage difference across the membrane that will help in the detection of electrical currents, and that's how they detect the praise, right? Now we will talk about electrolocation. So I told that electroreception will help in electrolocation and electrocommunication. So electrolocation means it is the ability of locating objects around the electroreceptive animals. So these electroreceptive animals will locate the objects around them, like some species which cannot depend on vision, some will be blind, right? So these species utilizes this electroreception to locate object near them, and the animal generates electrical fields by means of a specialized electric organ, and they will detect the distortions using the electroreceptor organs, and this type of electrolocation, it is called as active electrolocation. And one other kind is there, that is passive electrolocation, that is when the locating is done through sensing weak bioelectric fields, that is called passive electrolocation, right? Now what is electrocommunication? So it is the ability of electroreceptive animals to communicate by modulating the electrical waveforms. So they will generate electrical waveforms and certain modulations are created, and they will communicate with that electroreceptive technology. So that is electrocommunication, right? So next we move on to map session, and today we will be seeing Lothal. So you are very familiar with Lothal and its location, right? You have studied in your ancient India. It is located in Gujarat, present day Gujarat, and that is in Saurashtra, and it was a port city that belonged to the Harappan civilization, right? And Lothal is located between the Bhogao and Sabarmati rivers, which is near to the Gulf of Khambat. And talking about Lothal, like the ancient Lothal, it had grid patterns with proper streets crossing at right angles, then drainage systems were there, right? All these you know. And this Lothal had the world's earliest non-dock, right? And it was an important maritime trade center, as it was a port city. It had connections to many other places like Mesopotamia, Egypt, right? There was a bead making factory in Lothal, and the bead makers were highly skilled, and a unicorn seal was also recovered from Lothal, right? All these are the details about Lothal. So we will move on to PQRS, that is previous year revision question series, and the question is with reference to the initiative called the Economics of Ecosystem and Biodiversity, that is TEEB, which of the following statements is correct? So it is an initiative of UNEP, IMF and World Economic Forum. Statement 2 is it is a global initiative which focuses on drawing attention to the economic benefits of biodiversity. Statement 3 is it presents an approach that can help decision makers recognize demonstrable and capture the value of ecosystem and biodiversity. So read through the statements once again. You have the options, these are the options, and if you don't know about TEEB, how can you eliminate or how can you reach to the answer? Like reading through the statements 2 and 3, it is kind of related to that and it cannot be wrong. So first statement, it is saying that it is initiative of UNEP, IMF and World Economic Forum. So you can take a guesswork like IMF, World Economic Forum, all these incorporating and forming a organization which is related to ecosystems and biodiversity. Like you can take a guesswork. The answer is actually C, that is 2 and 3, right? The first statement is wrong because TEEB, it was launched by Germany and the European Commission, which was in response to a proposal by the G8+5 environmental ministers, right? So it was launched by Germany and European Commission. It was not by UNEP, IMF and World Economic Forum. So there were many phases in the TEEB, and the second phase of TEEB study is hosted by UNEP, right? So there were 3 phases, 1, 2 and 3, and it is an international initiative to draw attention to the global economic benefits of biodiversity. So it is an initiative to draw the attention to the global economic benefits of biodiversity, and its objective is to highlight the growing cost of biodiversity loss and ecosystem degradation. And this initiative, it focused on making nature's values visible, and they will mainstream the values of biodiversity and ecosystem services into decision making at all levels, right? So they will focus on making nature's value visible, right? So before winding up, I'll ask you a question, and the question is: consider the statement about Bandipur National Park. So today we have studied about Bandipur National Park, and I have not told about these 2 statements. They are, the statement 1 is: the national park is a part of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. 2, the park has a variety of biomes including dry deciduous forest and moist deciduous forest. So the options are A1 only, B2 only, C both 1 and 2, and D it is neither 1 nor 2. So take a guesswork if you don't know, and please do attempt it, and then search for the answer, and you have to comment the answer in the comment section below, right? So for further reading, you can refer the daily current affairs material from the link given below. Thank you for watching.